These are the new Atlas Mercury full-frame anamorphic lenses.
CineD, your digital cinema tech resource, supported by B&H and CVP.
Hi, I'm Johnny from CineD, and I'm here with Forrest from Atlas. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you, Johnny.
Really nice to meet you. I think it's the first time that we meet, and it's the first time that we actually talk, and you are a co-owner of Atlas Lenses. Tell me a little bit about your position in the company.
Sure, yeah. So it's myself, Forrest, and Dan Keynes. We co-own the company, and I'm president of Atlas Lens Co. I also do the main product design and the mechanical design and optical design.
Okay, so your background is more about designing stuff.
Sure, yes, exactly.
This is really fascinating for me, especially, and we will talk about this in a second when you see the older lenses, the Orion, and the new ones, the Mercury line. This is really amazing how you're actually able to shrink stuff in a way, probably without compromising the look of the product.
Right.
Okay, but let's talk about the new series that you just introduced, and this is the Mercury. What is so unique about those lenses?
Well, the Mercury is a really big different thing. The Mercury has a 1.5x squeeze. It covers full frame. And as you can see, it's a lot more compact than our previous models. This is the Orion series here, for example, in size comparison. They're both PL mount. As you can see, it's just mainly about making them more compact, but not compromising on the image. In fact, we focused in a little bit more on some of the optical attributes that cinematographers seem to enjoy. And you'll find that this has really pleasing focus in the center, has nice image fall off, and the bokeh rendition on these is really impressive for something that's 1.5x squeeze.
So before talking about the characteristics of the lenses, I just want to touch 1 second about the size. Please be kind just to hold the microphone for a second. Thank you. Wow, man, this is like a portable fitness center. This is... Okay, so this is from the Orion series. And this is from the Mercury. And both of them almost the same focal length, 42 and 40 millimeter. Quite amazing. I mean, this is really an achievement. Of course, thank you very much.
Yes.
Of course, with the Orion, you have ×2 squeeze, and this is 1.5. What are we compromising here, if at all, when it comes to 1.5 squeeze factor?
Well, I guess you're really only compromising and changing the squeeze factor, so what you got to do in post to restore the image. And in the case of 1.5x, what we optimize these for is to shoot onto a different ratio, right? You can shoot on a full 16:9 format, and if you de-squeeze correctly to restore the image, you're left with like a 2.66 ratio. Whereas with the 2x, you need that square format to start with. So in terms of compromise, it's really just a change in working of your system, so how you set up your camera. I think that's the only difference.
So for people who are a bit less familiar with working with anamorphic lenses, would you say that the new series is more suitable for working with 16:9 sensors?
That's one aspect, because a lot of those full-frame DSLR cameras, even full-frame cinema cameras, they always have a 16:9 mode that usually seems to be the biggest, or a 3.2 mode, right? The 36:24 is a 3.2, and that looks great when this covers up to Alexa open gate, so like 37 millimeters by 25 millimeters, so really big coverage. And when you de-squeeze that, you can display that whole image. You don't have to worry about, it's too stretched, right? With a 2x, even if it does cover, you have the problem that you got like a 4:1 or 3:1 ratio, and you might want to chop some of that off. With these ones, they're optimized to use the entire image.
Whom are you actually targeting with those new lenses? Because obviously, they're also much more affordable than the Orion. So who is your target user here?
Well, we wanted to create something that worked for really everybody, the professional, someone who wants to start their journey into anamorphic. We want this to be sort of the first and the one lens you can carry with you your entire life, because it's not an entry-level lens. It's a professional lens that was made to try to get into the hands of everybody and make it very personal for them.
And one thing that I'm very curious about, how do you as the lens designer decide about the characteristic or the coating, if it's more blue or more golden? How do you do this?
Yeah, some of that's choice and preference, right? Like with the Orions, it offers a bit of a that traditional blue flare, right? And we get a lot of comments asking for something quite different. Can we get something warmer? And that's totally possible. We wanted to offer a product that had a flare color that maybe felt familiar, vintage, pulled in some just that nostalgic feeling. and we went for the warmer flares on this one, more neutral/warm flare, also to differentiate and give you an option. They cut really well together. It still doesn't feel overdone because they're all organic. It's all real flares. There's no trickery. I mean, with our lens design, that's the one thing too, is that the bokeh, I want to speak a little bit about that. You know, as a designer, we looked into how do we make sure that 1.5x is going to be anamorphic enough. A lot of people criticize, well, if it's not 2x, I don't want it, or something like that. And I don't really believe in that. I remember doing a lot of early tests and seeing things that weren't 2 times and going, this looks just as good. It looks more anamorphic sometimes. And that comes down to the way the image focuses, the way the out of focus areas more so meld into each other, and the bokeh quality.
How long does it take to actually design a line like this?
With these, we took our time to make sure we were getting it right. So we went through some iterations, looked at the image, evaluated. We really want to make sure that this is a product that we love and enjoy before we're willing to just say, you know, here's a new thing. We're looking for creating something that's meaningful. So it took, this journey for the Mercuries maybe took over 4 years or so, from inception to just researching to kind of working on things in the background here and there, but we started ramping up really quickly the last year, I'd say, on full force, just trying to focus in on getting these 3 ready for everybody.
One thing that I really want to know is about the focusing system here, because obviously when you play with the focus, it can create some distortion.
Yeah.
What type of focusing are you using here?
So this includes a very novel, it's patent pending, so I can't speak too much about the description of it yet for those purposes, because it's very unique. But what you see in the image, the breathing, it gives you, I would say, something that's very familiar. You get the sense of just sort of elongation in the bokeh. A little bit different. It breathes differently than an Orion. That's what I can say, at least. So you can check the differences. But yeah, the breathing is one of the aspects of the lens that I love the most.
I'm seeing here 2 lenses, although you have already 3 lenses ready. Where is the third one? Are you hiding it?
You know what? We're hiding it from you here. Here's the 36 as well. So we have the 42, the 72, and the 36, pretty much in this order, actually. I'll put them on the table next to each other so you can see the size comparison.
But that's not the end of it. You're planning 2 more lenses. Which focal lens?
We have 2 more announced, and we're actually planning 3 more. So we have 2 announced. It's going to be the 54 and a 95 millimeter, so that's going to go here and here. And then we're going to have 1 more longer focal length after that, yet to be announced.
Forrest, what about prices and availability of those lenses?
Yeah, so as of today, list price is $5,995 for any of the focal lengths. And if you pre-order right now, you're going to save $1,000 off of each one of those lenses.
Wow, so that's, if you buy those 3, it's obviously $3,000 less.
Less, exactly. You buy the set, you're going to get it for $3,000 less right now.
And availability?
We're looking to send them out in 2023.
One last question from my side, because I see here 72 focal length, 42, and the other focal lengths that you said were also on the 2 side.
They're all sort of, yeah, there's 54 and 95. They're all sort of odd, different numbers, right? There's the story behind that is actually the 42, we'll say this was actually the first one we did as a design study. And during the design, we just noticed that I was hovering around a 40, but it kind of kept wanting to move around, and I let it float for a while. And it kind of kept wanting to go to 42. And I thought, that's an interesting number. Let's, and there's some meaning in that. If you look at like history and the naming conventions of lenses of the past, 42 is a significant number. So as we were designing the other ones, we kind of just let that sort of way of what does the lens want to be, in a sense, become the lens. Rather than just trying to force it to fit exactly where it had to land. Yeah.
Nice. Until it just fell into place somehow. You felt this is the right focal length.
Yes. Yeah, it was about that feeling. Like, honestly, it was. It just, 42 feels right. This one feels right. 36 is right. 54, 95, and then a longer one coming after that.
Forrest, anything else before I say thank you and goodbye?
Nothing more I can really add other than we'd love for you to see the images and to try to get your hands on them, shoot on them. Our favorite part about making these lenses is to see people use them, and so we want to see people create cool stuff with it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this friendly conversation. It's really nice to talk to you, and of course, those lenses looks very nice, and I'm very happy that in general, anamorphic filming is becoming more affordable. I think it's absolutely a step in the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.